The graveyard shift is where cops go to disappear. Marcus Webb drives the same streets every night. Midnight to 8 a.m. Sector 7, the rough district. Empty factories, abandoned buildings, streets that empty out after dark. He knows every corner, every alley, every 24-hour business still clinging to life. 6 months since his partner was murdered. 6 months of searching. Tonight, the man he's been hunting walks into a diner 15 feet from his patrol car. Marcus Webb clocked in at 11:54 p.m., 6 minutes early. Same as always, the graveyard shift briefing was short. Sergeant Williams ran through the updates. 2 domestic disturbance calls from the evening shift, stolen vehicle report on a blue Honda Civic, reminder about the new body camera protocols. "Stay safe out there," Williams said. Same words every night. Marcus nodded. Didn't speak. Hadn't spoken much in 6 months. He collected his gear. Radio, flashlight, shotgun locked in the patrol car's trunk. Gun on his hip. Glock 17, 15 rounds, 1 in the chamber. He'd never fired it at a suspect. 17 years on the force. Never pulled his weapon outside the range. That might change tonight. Marcus drove out of the precinct parking lot at 12:03 a.m. The city at midnight looked different than during the day. Quieter, darker, honest in its decay. He drove his usual route. Started at the north end of Sector 7, Monroe Street down to 5th, cut east on 3rd, loop back through the industrial district. Sarah used to ride shotgun. Detective Sarah Chen, 36 years old, sharp, funny, best partner Marcus ever had. They'd worked together for 4 years. Day shift mostly, sometimes swing shift when staffing was short. They'd responded to everything together. Domestics, robberies, traffic stops, the routine calls that make up 90% of police work. Until 6 months ago, when a routine traffic stop became something else. Marcus pushed the memory down, focused on the street. At 12:47 a.m., he pulled over a speeding taxi. Guy was apologetic, late picking up a fare. Marcus gave him a warning. Let him go. At 1:15 a.m., he responded to a noise complaint. Neighbors fighting over a parking space. Marcus separated them, calmed them down, took statements neither would follow up on. At 2:30 a.m., he bought coffee at the Gas and Go on 4th Street. The clerk, kid named Tommy, 22, nodded recognition. Slow night. Officer Webb? They're all slow, Marcus said. That was a lie. The graveyard shift wasn't slow. It was waiting. Waiting for the call. Waiting for the moment. Waiting to see the face from the witness description. Marcus had memorized every detail. Male, 30s, 6 feet tall, athletic build, dark hair, tattoo on left forearm, snake coiled around a dagger, scar above right eyebrow. The man who shot Sarah 3 times and drove away. The case had gone cold. Detectives worked it hard for 3 months. Interviewed witnesses, pulled surveillance footage, ran the tattoo through databases. Nothing. The killer vanished. Marcus couldn't work day shift anymore. Couldn't sit at his desk. Couldn't drive past the intersection where Sarah died. So he requested graveyard patrol. Midnight to 8 a.m. Sector 7. Alone. Because the killer was out here somewhere. Moving through the dark. And Marcus would find him. At 3:47 a.m., Marcus pulled into the Blue Moon Diner parking lot. The diner was one of 3 24-hour places in Sector 7. Truckers, night shift workers, insomniacs, the clientele who lived between midnight and dawn. Marcus had stopped here every night for 6 months. Same booth, same coffee, same waitress, Linda, 50-something, tired eyes but warm smile. He pushed through the glass door. Bell chimed above. Linda looked up from the counter. Hey, Marcus. Usual? Yeah, thanks. Marcus slid into his booth. Third one from the door. Good sight line to the entrance and the parking lot through the window. He was reaching for the menu. Force of habit. He never ordered anything different. When he saw him, booth 7, back corner, a man, 30s, dark hair, athletic build, left arm resting on the table, and on that forearm, a tattoo, snake coiled around a dagger. Marcus's vision narrowed, his heart rate spiked, blood rushed in his ears. 6 months. 6 months of searching. The man was drinking coffee, reading something on his phone, relaxed, unaware. 15 feet away, Linda approached Marcus's booth. Coffee, hon? Marcus forced his eyes away from booth 7. Yeah, black. His voice sounded normal, professional, but his hand moved to his hip, rested on his gun. Linda poured coffee. Didn't notice. Slow night. So far. Linda moved to another table. Marcus's eyes went back to the man in booth 7. He needed to be sure. Needed to see the face clearly. The man looked up from his phone. Profile visible now. Scar above right eyebrow. Faint but there. It was him. Sarah's killer. Sitting 20 feet away. Drinking coffee at 3:47 a.m. like he hadn't murdered a cop 6 months ago. Marcus's training said, call it in, request backup, maintain surveillance, follow protocol. But protocol hadn't caught Sarah's killer. Protocol had led to a cold case. Protocol meant lawyers and trials, and the possibility this man walked free. Marcus stood, left cash on the table for the coffee he hadn't touched. He walked toward the door, not toward booth 7. Professional, calm. He exited the diner, got in his patrol car, didn't start the engine. He watched through the windshield, waited. At 4:03 a.m., the man in booth 7 stood, paid his check, left. Marcus watched him walk to a black pickup truck. Ford F-150. Plates visible, 7 Delta, 7-3-9-2. The truck pulled out of the parking lot, headed east on 3rd Street. Marcus waited 10 seconds, then followed. 6 months earlier, Detective Sarah Chen died on a Tuesday, March 17th, 9:37 p.m. Marcus and Sarah had been working a case. String of armed robberies. Gas stations mostly. Same MO. Single suspect. Ski mask. .45 caliber handgun. They'd been canvassing the neighborhood, talking to witnesses, following up on tips. At 9:15 p.m., they'd spotted a vehicle matching the suspect description. Black pickup truck, tinted windows, no front plate. Sarah called it in. Dispatch, this is Unit 23. We're pulling over a possible suspect vehicle. 3rd and Monroe. Black Ford F-150. Plates 7 Delta 7392. Routine traffic stop. They'd done 1,000 of them. Marcus pulled in behind the truck. Lights flashing. Sarah ran the plates on the computer. Registered owner is Michael Torres. 34. No warrants. Vehicle's clean. Standard procedure. Approach the vehicle. Ask for license and registration. Check for outstanding warrants. Marcus approached the driver's side. Sarah took passenger side. Covering angles. The window rolled down. Man inside. 30s. Dark hair. Athletic build. Evening, sir. License and registration, please. The man handed them over. Calm. No visible nervousness. Marcus checked the license. Michael Torres. Address matched registration. Mr. Torres, reason I pulled you over is your taillights out. Just want to make sure you're aware. Standard line. True, but also gave them probable cause to check the vehicle. Oh, didn't know. Thanks for letting me know. Marcus looked at Sarah. She nodded. Nothing suspicious so far. That's when it happened. Torres's hand moved. Fast. Gun from under the seat. 3 shots. Rapid succession. Sarah went down. Chest. Twice. Once in the throat. Marcus drew his weapon. Returned fire. But Torres was already accelerating. Truck fishtailed. Fled east on 3rd. Marcus dropped his gun. Fell to his knees beside Sarah. Sarah. Sarah, stay with me. Blood. So much blood. Sarah tried to speak. Couldn't. Her eyes locked on Marcus's. Scared. Knowing. Officer down. Officer down. Marcus screamed into his radio. 3rd and Monroe. I need an ambulance now. Sarah died before the paramedics arrived. 9:37 p.m. Still holding Marcus's hand. The truck was found 3 hours later. Abandoned in a warehouse parking lot. Wiped clean. No prints. No evidence. Michael Torres disappeared. No credit card activity. No phone pings. No sightings. Detectives worked every lead. The robbery cases went cold too. No more hits. Torres vanished completely. 3 months passed. The case stalled. Detectives moved on to active investigations. But Marcus didn't move on. Couldn't. He transferred to graveyard shift. Sector 7, the rough district where criminals moved at night. And he searched. The follow. Marcus kept 3 car lengths back. No lights. No siren. The black F-150 drove east on 3rd Street. Stayed under the speed limit. Obeyed traffic signals. Whoever this was, Torres or someone else, he wasn't running. Wasn't spooked. Marcus radioed in. Voice steady. Professional. Dispatch. Unit 47. I'm code 6 following a vehicle of interest. Black Ford F-150. Plates 7 Delta 7392. Currently eastbound on 3rd approaching Monroe. The dispatcher's voice came back. Unit 47. Do you need backup? Marcus hesitated. Backup meant protocol. Meant arrest. Meant letting someone else handle it. Negative. Just maintaining surveillance. Copy that. Keep us updated. The truck turned south on Monroe. Into the warehouse district. Empty streets. No traffic cameras. No witnesses. Marcus followed. At 4:27 a.m. The truck pulled into an abandoned meatpacking plant parking lot. The building had been closed for 5 years. Windows broken. Graffiti-covered walls. Perfect place for a meeting or an ambush. The truck stopped. Driver got out. Marcus parked half a block away. Killed his lights. Watched. The man from the diner, Torres, walked to the building's side entrance. Used a key. Went inside. Marcus sat in the dark. Gun on his lap. Waiting. This was it. The moment he'd been preparing for. 6 months of searching. 6 months of grief turning to rage. He could call for backup. Let SWAT handle it. Follow protocol. Or he could walk through that door and finish this. For Sarah. For justice the system couldn't deliver. Marcus got out of his car. Drew his weapon. Approached the building. The side entrance was unlocked. Metal door. Rusted hinges that screamed when it opened. Inside, darkness. Smell of decay and old meat. Water dripping somewhere. Marcus used his flashlight. Swept the space. Loading dock. Conveyor belts. Meat hooks hanging from rails. Movement ahead. In the office area. Marcus moved forward. Finger on trigger. Heart pounding. Police! Show yourself. Light flicked on. Fluorescent tubes buzzing. Office door open. Torres stood in the doorway. Hands visible. No weapon. Officer Webb, Torres said calmly. I was wondering when you'd find me. Marcus aimed at center mass. On the ground. Now. Torres didn't move. You don't want to do this. Sarah Chen, 6 months ago, you shot her 3 times. I know. Confession. Simple as that. Marcus's finger tightened on the trigger. Give me one reason not to end this right now. Torres reached slowly into his jacket. Marcus tensed. Easy, Torres said. He pulled out a badge. Federal badge. Hey, my name is Agent Michael Torres. I'm deep cover. Have been for 3 years. That traffic stop 6 months ago. I wasn't the robbery suspect. I was working an undercover operation. Your partner stumbled into the middle of it. Marcus kept his gun trained. You're lying. I'm not. Torres set the badge on. A desk. Make the call. DEA field office. Ask for Assistant Director Karen Mills. She'll confirm. You shot my partner. I didn't. Marcus's gun hand shook. I was there. I saw you. You saw someone. Not me. The tattoo, the scar, the truck. Torres pulled up his left sleeve. The snake and dagger tattoo was there. But something was wrong. Look closer, Torres said. Marcus stepped forward. The tattoo was fresh. Edges still healing. I got this 2 months ago. Part of my cover. The real shooter had the same tattoo. That's why you found me. The plates. 7 Delta 7392. Stolen plates. Real shooter used them that night. Dumped them after. I'm using them now because I bought the truck from an impound auction. Didn't know the history until tonight when you started following me. Marcus's mind raced. Why didn't you come forward after Sarah died? Because I'm 3 years into a case worth $50 million. The Sinaloa cartel's trafficking operation. If I break cover, dozens of people die and the case collapses. Sarah died. I know. Torres's voice softened. I read the reports. Everyone. Detective Chen was good police. What happened to her was tragedy. But it wasn't me. Marcus's gun lowered slightly. Then who? Torres pulled out a file folder. Set it on the desk. The real shooter. His name is Raymond Vega, cartel enforcer. He used my cover identity that night. Stole my truck. Use plates registered to my UC vehicle. When your partner ran them, she got a clean record mine. But the man driving was Vega. Marcus looked at the file. Photographs. Surveillance images. A man with dark hair. Athletic build. Snake tattoo. Scar above eyebrow. But it wasn't Torres. The face was different. Similar, but not the same. Where is he? Torres met Marcus's eyes. That's why I'm here tonight. Vega's meeting his contact in 3 hours. Warehouse on the riverfront. Pier 17. I'm the contact. Final deal before we take down the entire network. I want him. You can't have him. Not yet. We arrest Vega early. The case falls apart. His bosses disappear. We get one enforcer, but lose the entire operation. Marcus's hand tightened on his gun. He killed Sarah, and he'll answer for it. After the raid. After we have everyone. I promise you. Raymond Vega will spend the rest of his life in prison. Prison's not enough. Torres stepped closer. Officer Webb. Marcus, I know what you're feeling. I know the rage. But you're a good cop. 17 years. Never fired your weapon. Don't let Vega turn you into what he is. Marcus stood in the dark warehouse. Gun in hand. Sarah's face in his mind. For 6 months, he'd imagined this moment. Finding the killer. Pulling the trigger. Justice delivered at 3 a.m. in an abandoned building where no one would ask questions. But this wasn't justice. This was vengeance. And Sarah would hate him for it. Marcus holstered his weapon. What time's the meet? 7 a.m. Pier 17. I'm coming with you. Torres shook his head. You can't. Vega knows every cop in this city. He sees you, he runs. Then I watch from outside. But I'm there when you take him down. Torres considered, then nodded. Okay, but you follow my lead. This is a federal operation. Understood? Understood. Pier 17. At 6:47 a.m., Marcus sat in his patrol car 2 blocks from Pier 17. The sun was rising, orange light cutting through the industrial gloom. Torres had given him an earpiece. Federal frequency. Marcus could hear the operation. All units in position, came a voice. DEA Tactical Commander. Subject is approaching from the south. Black SUV. 2 occupants. Marcus's pulse quickened. Through binoculars, he watched the SUV pull into the pier parking lot. 2 men got out. One was Torres, playing his role. Deep cover operative closing a deal. The other was Raymond Vega. Marcus saw him clearly for the first time. The real killer. The man who shot Sarah. Different face than Torres, but same build, same tattoo, same scar. On the radio, subject confirmed. Raymond Vega, standing by for signal. Torres and Vega talked, exchanged briefcases. Standard cartel transaction. Marcus's hand moved to his gun. He could end this. 1 shot through the windshield. Vega would never see it coming, but he didn't move. Sarah's voice in his head. We're the good guys, Marcus. We don't get to choose which laws matter. Torres gave the signal, scratched his ear. Go, go, go. DEA tactical units swarmed from concealed positions. Black SUVs, armed agents, coordinated takedown. Vega reached for his weapon. Didn't make it. Agents tackled him, cuffed him. Miranda rights read over the radio. Subject in custody. Pier 17 secure. Marcus sat in his car, watching. It was over. Not the way he'd imagined. No gunfight. No dramatic confrontation. Just professional law enforcement doing their job. Sarah would have approved. 7:45 a.m. Marcus drove back to the precinct as the sun climbed. End of shift. Graveyard over. Sergeant Williams met him in the parking lot. Webb, DEA just called. Said you provided material assistance in a major operation. Good work. Marcus nodded. Didn't explain. You okay? Williams asked. Yeah, I'm okay. First time Marcus had said that in 6 months. First time it was true. Take the day off. Get some sleep. Marcus went home. Small apartment. Too quiet. Sarah's photo on the mantle. He stood looking at it. We got him. It's done. The grief was still there. Would always be there. But the rage was gone. Burned out in the moment, he chose justice over vengeance. Marcus slept for the first time in 6 months without nightmares. 3 weeks later, Raymond Vega pleaded guilty, testified against his cartel bosses in exchange for life without parole instead of death penalty. The trafficking operation was dismantled. 18 arrests, 50 million in assets seized, dozens of victims rescued. Detective Sarah Chen's name was mentioned in the FBI's press conference. Her investigation had helped build the case even after her death. Marcus attended the ceremony when they dedicated the precinct's training room in Sarah's honor. Her parents were there. Her sister. They hugged Marcus, thanked him. She'd be proud of you, Sarah's mother said. Marcus hoped so. He transferred back to day shift. Started working with a new partner. Officer Lisa Chun, no relation. 26 years old. Smart. Reminded him a little of Sarah. The graveyard shift went to someone else. Someone who needed to disappear into the dark for a while. Marcus understood. Some nights, you need the darkness. But eventually, you have to find your way back to the light. Epilogue. 6 months after Vega's arrest, Marcus drove past the intersection where Sarah died. 3rd and Monroe. Still a working street. Traffic flowing. He pulled over, sat in his car, remembered Sarah Chen had been good police, the kind who joined because she wanted to help people, who treated every call with respect, who never forgot why the badge mattered. She died doing her job, not because she made a mistake, because evil exists and sometimes it strikes without warning. Marcus couldn't change that, couldn't bring her back, couldn't erase the grief. But he could honor her memory, keep being the cop she'd respected, keep choosing justice even when vengeance felt easier. The graveyard shift had taught him that. Some lessons you learn in the dark and carry with you into the light.